Welcome. This is Professor Guerra Pujol from the University of Central Florida, and welcome again to Legal and Ethical Environment of Business. I really hope you enjoyed the videos by Ms. Aidan Kramer, and a startup business attorney in the state of Colorado. I think those are great videos. I hope you enjoyed them, and give you a little refresher and break from yours truly. However, I do want to do one last closing video on partnership law, because if we focus on Facebook for a moment, it began as a partnership between two close friends, Eduardo Saverin and Mark Zuckerberg. And in fact, a lot of really famous companies began as partnerships between close friends. You can think of Microsoft. Bill Gates and Paul Allen were partners before they formalized their company. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak of Apple Corporation. And I would add Google, the Google guys, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, who as computer science students, grad students at Stanford, formed this new company, Google, which today Alphabet, very large, important company. And so partnerships are a very common way of doing business, and the previous videos focused on other forms, but I do want to talk about partnerships. There are some advantages and disadvantages. One advantage is that it's a great way of people coming together, rolling up their sleeves and starting a business. But there are some disadvantages, as we'll see. Think of Facebook as a good example. Eduardo Saverin. If you were paying close attention to the movie, or if you've read the book, The Accidental Billionaires, you'll note that Eduardo, during his junior year in college, his summer before his junior year in college, made a lot of money, reportedly hundreds of thousands of dollars, investing in oil futures in Brazil. And that means he's kind of an independently wealthy guy as a junior in college when he befriends and becomes partners with Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg, when he starts Facebook, and this is really the crux of the movie, right, is being threatened with litigation. The Winklevoss twins and their business partner, Divya Narendra, are threatening to sue Mark Zuckerberg. And in fact, in one famous scene in the movie, when Eduardo Saverin and Zuckerberg are in Zuckerberg's dorm room, Saverin sees these demand letter, a threatening letter by the Winklevoss twins, saying that if certain conditions aren't met, we're going to sue you. And eventually, in fact, Zuckerberg and Facebook were sued. The reason why this is worrisome if you are a partner is because partners are going to be personally liable for the legal obligations of the partnership. And I should add, partners will be legally liable for the torts and legal liabilities of their fellow partners as well. So Eduardo, though he may have personally have no knowledge and no involvement directly with Zuckerberg allegedly stealing ideas from the Winklevoss twins, if a court of law were to impose liability on Zuckerberg for those acts, his business partner could, in theory, be also legally liable. And if you're Eduardo and you have, several $100,000s in the bank, you kind of want to protect those personal assets. You only want to risk the amount of money that you're investing in the company. But notice, right, this is why I like The Social Network. I believe there's a critical scene, the Caribbean night scene, and they're not really playing Caribbean music, I wish they were playing reggaeton or some Wisin Yandel, some good music, but that's, Zuckerberg playing some, music that's not Caribbean. He steps out with Eduardo and says, look, let's go 60-40, I have a new idea, let's become partners. And it's very easy to form a partnership. All you need is to have an agreement. Now, in our next batch of videos, next unit, we'll see what it takes to have a legally enforceable contract. And though it's good practice for partnership agreements and contracts in general to be in writing, they don't always have to be in writing to be legally enforceable. And as long as you have two or more co-owners, right, in business together for profit, you have a partnership. And they have this very informal partnership agreement, and that partnership agreement is going to result in litigation. And so we'll talk about the lawsuit between Eduardo Saverin and Mark Zuckerberg, and also between the Winklevoss twins and Facebook and Zuckerberg and his co-founders in our next unit. So thank you for your attention. Have a good day, and go Knights.